Thank you for your interest in Symantec C++. Over the next few minutes, you'll get a preview of the new Symantec C++ for Windows, Windows 95, and NT. And you'll see why Symantec C++ is a great solution to some of the biggest challenges that you face as a programmer. Symantec C++ is hyper-fast, with NetBuild, supporting compilation in parallel on multiple PCs. And the amazing OptLink 6.0, our new multi-threaded linker, written in hand-coded 32-bit assembly. Symantec C++ offers you instant navigation with our incremental C++ parsing technology so that you can easily see the overall architecture of your program and quickly get to each of its pieces. Its professional integrated development and debugging environment can build and debug your biggest programs. And Symantec C++ includes native development systems for Windows 3.1, Windows 95, and Windows NT, as well as command line tools, along with Microsoft technologies such as MFC, Olay, and ODBC. So you can make the transition from 16 to 32-bit programming easily. But don't just take my word for it. Sit back and decide for yourself as Symantec Sam demonstrates Symantec C++, and also hear what some of the top developers in the industry are saying about Symantec C++, the fastest way to architect, navigate, build, and debug your Windows applications.
Hey Sam, are you busy? I need some help.
Just trying out our new version of C++ for Windows 95. Hey, come on in. This thing really cooks.
Well, good, because that's what I need to talk to you about. We're having a lot of trouble building our new applications.
Relax, Pete. Our team at Symantec put everything you need in Symantec C++ 7.0. So tell me what's wrong.
Well, we haven't even switched over to an IDE yet, because my boss thinks we'll lose flexibility.
Not anymore. See this screen? It's the integrated development and debugging environment you start with in Symantec C++ 7.0.
That's the IDE? Well, why use an SDI instead of an MDI approach?
We call this an open desktop architecture. With multiple independent views, this environment can coexist with other applications and tools, including the one you're developing.
I can still use Emacs to edit code while in your environment? Cool. How many different views are there?
18 of them, and they automatically interact with each other. You'll love it.
But if it's a non-MDI environment, how do you manage all of these views?
You just use the Views palette. As you mouse over each view icon, the IDE even tells you what it is. It's really simple.
Ah, I get it. That one is the source view. So how do you bring up a view? You double-click?
You can, but you can also drag and drop, which makes things really easy. Watch this.
Wow, you just drag the source view onto the desktop. That's great. But that Views palette is blocking my view.
No problem. Just resize it and move it aside.
And I assume you can customize these palettes.
Yeah, I can use the right mouse button to pick up anything I don't want and just toss it out. Later, I can reset the palette if I need to. You can even change the size of the icons in the palette or dock it onto the top of the screen.
I'd want those customized palettes to change automatically depending on what I'm doing. You know, like editing, debugging, whatever.
Now, that's where our workspaces come in. Not only can you lay out customized palettes, but also views. See these tabs at the top of the screen?
Yeah, so if you click on the debugging tab...
Exactly. Now you have just the right views set up for debugging, like call view, function view, and data view.
Can you create new custom views?
As many as you'd like. The environment in Symantec C++ is designed to be both powerful and flexible. Through the use of an open desktop architecture, developers are provided with a metaphor that optimizes productivity.
The interface looks great, but how about project management? We've been having problems with handling our build process because it's so complex.
I know it. Most people just end up using command line tools and nmake.
Don't knock it, it works. But I'd like to see the project management features in Symantec C++ 7.0.
Let's do that. I'll maximize the project view. The project we're loading is Norton Utilities for Windows 95, a real-life project.
Doesn't look that big.
That's because the new project system is so elegant. Look, each of the entries in this view refers to a different sub-project.
No kidding. How many levels deep can you go?
It's unlimited.
So, what about dependency tracking?
The project management system handles all that.
Okay, but click on one of those sub-projects.
Sure. See? The IDDE indicates that it's parsing. Now, we'll talk more about parsing later. You probably know this utility. It's the sysinfo system utility monitor.
Really? Now, let's say I want one team working on this sub-project and another team on a different one.
That works. Each of these sub-projects is actually a standalone project. In this case, we've rolled all of the sub-projects into a master project for building.
That's powerful. Hey, Microsoft added file-level options to VC. How do you guys handle that?
You just right-click on any file to see local options. Let's select local options and you'll see how to set them.
You know, one of the reasons that we haven't moved to an environment is because you can't specify the order in which DLLs and EXEs are built.
Say no more, Pete. We have an option that lets you set the... In fact, you can even use your existing external make file if you want to. You still use Emacs?
Yeah, it's left over from all those Unix hacking days.
Then you'll dig our new editor view. It has full Emacs emulation. Totally hot.
Well, most of our guys use Brief.
Don't worry, we provide emulation for Brief too. In fact, I'm using Brief emulation right now. We've also added extensive color syntax highlighting and a VBA-compatible macro language, among other powerful editing features.
That reminds me, one of the features that people like in Brief is the ability to select and move a column.
Now watch this. I'll select this column and then cut it. There's tons of new features in this editor, like auto-indent, parent and race matching, multiple level undo capability, and more. So as you can see, Symantec C++ 7.0 provides features in the environment that makes professional development from an IDE a reality.
You know, last year we switched from C to C++. Since then, we've been really frustrated about the level of support for the language. Browsing capabilities of our tools don't even work until after you've built the application.
I know. And by that time, it's too late. We've taken a new approach. Instead of using post-build information, we have a new incremental parsing system.
You mean you can parse the information while you're programming? How do you activate that?
It's automatic, unless you turn it off.
But if you're in the middle of writing your programs, you just get a million syntax errors.
The parse is really forgiving. It extracts as much information as it can from the code you've written. The point is, it's helpful, but not intrusive.
I gotta see this work. Now, you haven't compiled this project yet, right?
Right?
Okay, so that means that you should be able to activate your browser anyway.
Absolutely. I've set up a browsing workspace. Let's go to it now. Check out the class editor.
Great! A 3-pane browser. Can you actually edit in this view?
You bet. You have a repository of classes on the left, members on the right, and source code at the bottom.
How do you search for a class or a member?
You just start typing the first few letters of the name. Incremental search automatically brings you there. For example, let's look for CSI Drive Info. We can type the first few letters, CSI Drive, and we're instantly at this class. Then we can go to the Members pane and search for a method called Gather Data. Finally, we can double-click to see a source code.
I'm impressed. Did you just load that source file?
Actually, the class editor extracts only the method body. That way, the whole file system is transparent, and you can concentrate on the code you're interested in.
Hey Sam, see that call to getCur Drive? How do you go to that function's implementation?
Well, that's where the navigation really comes in. You just select the method and choose Query Implementers.
Oh, I see. It brings up another instance of the class editor.
Right. Now that way you can easily navigate back and forth without losing your train of thought.
This seems really useful for C programmers too. Does it work for C?
Well, you can access this information by double-clicking on the global scope double-colon. If you're programming in C, the left pane organizes by functions, data, and type defs, and all of the same functionality is available. You can also sort by file.
Slick. I should have known.
I'm telling you, Symantec C++ 7.0 provides navigation capabilities that really improve productivity.
Okay, what's next?
Well, now let's drag out the hierarchy editor for a visual representation of our class hierarchy.
But if we want to make changes, do we have to go back to the class editor?
Actually, the hierarchy editor allows you to make changes right here.
What do you mean?
Let's use incremental search again and find the same class CSI printer, and right-click to show the header file that defines this class.
So you have to use the text editor.
No, Pete, you have to use punch cards. Watch, I'm going to pick up the inheritance line of this class and drag it to a new parent. When I confirm the change, you'll see that not only does the visual model change, but also the source code itself.
That's awesome. How did you do that?
Well, even though all of these views look separate, they're all connected through a common parsing and browsing system.
This is amazing, but it seems dangerous. What happens if you make a mistake?
No problem. There's a full multiple level undo support. Watch me do it.
Wow, everything reverts to the way it was.
Now do you believe me? Symantec C++ 7.0 is a state-of-the-art object-oriented editing system with incredible editing and architecting capabilities.
You're always talking about speed. I'm ready to see some action. Let's start building this application.
Okay, I'll just turn on pre-compiled headers to speed things up and start building. Notice that the first file compiles slower than the rest. This is because Symantec C++ 7.0 uses a new type of pre-compiled headers that substantially increases the build speed, and OptLink 6.0 provides the fastest link times in the industry. Let's look at the facts. This benchmark shows the results when Symantec C++ and Visual C++ are compiling all of MFC.
Not bad. I thought VC was fast.
It is, but we're way faster. Here's another one, compiling the MFC Migration Kit, a joint development project between Symantec and Microsoft. Doing a full debug build, you can see Symantec C++ is 2.5 times faster than Visual C++.
2.5 times? Wow!
Head-to-head, Symantec C++ is the fastest in full build, partial build, and we're not sacrificing execution speed to get there. In fact, we have one of the best performing optimized compilers around.
Looks pretty fast, but our projects take hours to build. Frankly, a faster compiler just isn't good enough.
NetBuild allows you to automatically use multiple networked computers to build your application in parallel.
You mean if I have 3 computers networked together, NetBuild will use them all to build my application?
Yep. Watch. I'll start by setting the build options and turning on NetBuild.
This looks like a real time saver.
It's huge. Every time NetBuild finds an available resource on the network, it puts it to work. See, we just found 5 available computers. Okay, here are the results for huge applications. This is Timeline 6.1, more than 1 million lines of code. We started the project with Zortec, and from Zortec to this incarnation, speed improved by a factor of 2. And look, when you kick in NetBuild, it screams.
This'll work for us. There's always a few idle workstations around the office.
Symantec C++ 7.0 provides developers with the fastest build times ever, and NetBuild offers a whole new level of compilation speed with other machines helping get the job done.
All right, say I want to build a brand new application. What's first?
First, I'll run AppExpress to automatically build the core of your application. AppExpress generates a complete MFC-based application that we can begin adding functionality to. I'll choose an MDI application with OLE server and container support.
Okay, what's next?
Now I select a directory to put all this in.
Okay, call it first. And what does the preview button do?
Well, the preview gives you a working version of your application before you generate all of the source code. Now, let's generate it.
Fire away.
Now, as soon as the project is generated, the parsing system kicks in and takes a symbolic snapshot of the application.
That means that you can immediately start using the class editor and the hierarchy editor, right?
You bet. Now we'll add some additional functionality. Let's start with a new dialog box.
Okay, let me guess. Looks like you're going to select Resource New.
Right. The new Symantec Resource Studio is integrated with the IDDE, so you can quickly add user interface elements to your application.
Hey, you just select the type you want. Let's see, how about a standard dialog box with 3D controls? Great, but now you're going to click on the resource type on the left.
Correctamundo. Now I can see what resources my application currently has. By double-clicking on a resource ID, I can automatically begin editing it. Good. Now let's add a button called Play Video. Later we can add functionality to make this dialog box bring up an AVI movie.
How do you add code to it?
Easy. I just hit Control W.
How does it work?
It recognizes that I'm creating a new MFC class and will derive it for me automatically. Now I can easily add code to the class.
It's that easy?
You select the button and the event. Class Express generates the right method for me. Now that the method exists in the class, you can use the Edit Function button.
This really is a seamless system.
What did I tell you? Now I can use the class editor to add functionality. I'll type in the code to play your movie. Okay, let's build and run it. The combination of App Express, Class Express, and Symantec Resource Studio provides super fast prototyping and implementation of Windows applications.
I used to use Multiscope. Where does that fit in?
Multiscope is fully integrated into the environment. You can debug anytime or switch to the debugging workspace.
This really works? Let's start debugging right now.
No problem. First, I drag out the calls view. You can just pick up a call and drag it into the source window. I can do both high and low level debugging without a steep learning curve. For instance, I can take that same call from the calls view and drop it into the assembly view to disassemble that piece of code. Now we'll drag that same piece of information to the object inspector. This is our new view that allows you to see and manipulate a data item with ease. You can simultaneously display data from different scopes, both local and global.
Do you still have the ability to show data graphically?
Absolutely. You can do it right from the object inspector. See this pointer? Now, let's say I wanted to browse it as if it were an array. I can simply show as, pointer as array. Now we can select the index and double-click on it.
That's powerful. One of our problems is memory overwrites. It takes time to find them.
We can use hardware watch points. Let's select Set Watch Point. In this case, we'll choose for read access and click OK. When we execute the app, it runs at full speed and the application.
This is going to be really useful for us.
Symantec C++ 7.0 truly provides developers with the most powerful graphical debugging capabilities ever.
Listen, I'd like to move to Symantec C++ 7.0 right away. Is it available?
It's shipping now. And you're right, Symantec C++ 7.0 is the fastest way to architect, build, navigate, and debug applications for Windows 95, Windows NT, and Windows 3.1.
Tell me more about Symantec. Is it a solid company?
Pete, Symantec has been developing state-of-the-art technologies and tools for 10 years. We've combined our expertise in software with hot technologies like Multiscope and OptLink. The result is products that are setting the standard for Windows development tools. Symantec is the 5th largest software company in the world with 34 offices worldwide. We provide developers with high-quality productivity tools for standalone and client-server application development. We know our stuff.
Thanks, Sam. Here is what some of the top developers in the industry are saying about Symantec C++.
I am Bruce Brereton, Vice President of Development for our Business Applications Division at Novell. We use various Symantec development tools, such as the OptLink linker for Windows and Symantec C++ for the Macintosh, throughout WordPerfect development. So it only took us a little while to become very impressed with Symantec C++ 7.0. With support for Windows 95, Win31, NT, and DOS, they have all the bases covered. Symantec has taken the best-of-breed components and combined them in a powerful development and debugging environment for our programmers. WordPerfect for Windows is over 1 million lines of code, and 7.0's NetBuild feature allows us to compile the product in a fraction of the time it used to take. Symantec 7.0 includes the latest version of Uplink. This new version is even faster than the previous one. It allows for our developers to go through the typical edit, compile, debug cycle quicker. Plus, the executable is smaller for our customers.
I'm Jerry Barber, Director of Technology Integration at Adobe. At our company, high productivity development environments are key to delivering our product in a timely fashion. Many of Adobe's applications are very large. For example, PageMaker is more than 1 million lines of code in both C and C++. The project management system in Symantec C++ 7.0, with its support for nested projects and build order, is ideal for these large projects. Also, the distributed build capability can allow us to dramatically reduce the build time for these large projects. Symantec C++ 7.0's object-oriented editor and browser allows our developers to quickly understand an application's structure and architecture, and therefore easily access its desired components, such as methods and object structure and so forth. At a higher level, I'd like to move away from a file orientation to more of a database orientation for browsing and maintaining the objects and methods of an application. And the object-oriented editor and browser puts this product far ahead of what Borland or Microsoft offer with their development environments. It seems to me that what Symantec has done is analyze the software development process to find out where developers spend most of their time, and then they've optimized these portions of the with the hierarchical project manager and the object-oriented editor and browser, and the fastest compiler and linker I've seen yet.
Thank you for your time.